I'm appalled at what you said on that pod thing. It's disgusting.
This is the After the Show podcast. It's where we get honest and real with yo ass. So sit back, relax, have a blast, because it's time for the After the Show podcast.
Alrighty, hello and welcome to the Thursday KVJ Show. Getting all ready for a big weekend. Lots of good stuff going on. Tortuga. That is going to be happening this weekend. That Sebastian Maniscalco is going to be in South Florida for a ton of shows here over the weekend and early next week. And
he's one of your top earning comedians.
Yeah, no, he does. Honestly, there's some of those guys out there that, you know, you may not think like him. And who's that one comedian they call Fluffy?
Fluffy, there's another guy.
People love him, and he always plays multiple shows. And yeah, quietly, they just do their thing and do their act and make a ton of money.
Russell Peters or Russell Peterson or I think it's Russell Peters.
It'd be a good name for a gay porn star, Russell Peters.
But he was a guy I never heard of, and then I found he's in the top 10 all-time earners of comedian.
Right.
Everyone knows who he is, but if you ask somebody who he is, they don't know who you're talking about.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy that you do. And when you think of the comedy world, sometimes, you know, somebody's got a podcast or they are on a lot of things, or they are one of those comedians that gets a lot of attention, but it doesn't necessarily make they're making a ton of money. That, yeah, some of these guys just do it and they're quiet in their regular life, but they just crush it and they sell out every show.
I think a lot of these comedians too, they're not overly dirty. So you can sell out different venues than you normally wouldn't even think about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, because, you know, look, I think it goes this way, where there are some people that will not go see a dirty comedian. And that cuts, you know, a big portion of your audience out. But if you're clean and you're still very funny, people are like going, yeah, well, I'm not going to not ever go see a clean comedian just because they don't throw out an F-bomb. And so I think that they have a broader audience to choose from, and I think it proves its point. Yeah, Gabriel Iglesias, thank you for that.
Not everyone likes to talk like pirates like us.
I do. I mean, I prefer a naughty comedian. I prefer naughty friends. I'm just naughty by nature.
Well, but there's also a very lucrative career in that as well. They're different lanes, because you're right. There's a lot of raunch out there that's making a fuck ton of money. Right now, we are living in probably the most lucrative time in the comedy world. I know they always compare it. Is this the golden age? It's the golden age as far as making the money. Now, as far as is it the best, that's a debate you got to have with somebody. But getting that money, yeah, there's a lot of people making a shit ton of money doing comedy shit.
Oh, absolutely.
We need to get Denny's out there on the circuit with that joke jury book.
He would be more of the clean comedian.
We're bound by the FCC, unfortunately.
I don't know, that fifth joke. Fifth joke, that could be maybe an addendum. He would sell the regular clean jokes, and then he would have one just all fifth jokes.
One entire show is just called Fifth Jokes.
Yeah.
One of my favorite Denny's comedy stories is we were doing a live event, and it was the first time Denny's ever did the joke jury. But for some reason, Denny's wanted to just do material instead of just doing the one-offs.
I know, right?
He went into a routine. No one could hear what he was saying.
Yeah.
And then me and Kevin tried to talk about it. And it wasn't going well. Like, do one of your jokes. And then he did one of his jokes. I was like, fuck yeah, whoa. So he was doing like some, cerebral comedy, making you think.
Denny's, dumb it down, please.
Yeah.
Stop being so smart.
Do you remember that?
I do remember that. It was amazing. I was standing right behind him like, oh boy, he's going for it. I love that. I like the courage.
Me and Denny's laugh about that all the time.
That's fantastic. Dina's got a question about the Crawfish Festival. She's planning to go. Love to see the VMK. I'll answer her first question. What time's the performance? That's going to be at 6 p.m.
On Saturday.
Yep. And she said, what about the food? Does sometimes it run out? Is there more options earlier in the day, or will the same stuff be available later on? Closer to the show.
So you'll be good on Saturday. We ran out of crawfish late on Sunday last year because people were just buying it at record numbers. So we ordered more this year. And so at the end on Sunday, the crawfish may run out. I would not show up at, 4 p.m. on Sunday. It's a dangerous time.
It is crazy how many people do love crawfish. It is something I just cannot jam with, and people lose their crawfish heads over it.
They love it. It's delicious.
Yeah, she particularly is looking for the crawfish étouffée.
Yeah, my sister's making that, and so you don't have to worry about that. That will be good. We're buying more than we bought last year for that as well to keep up with the demand.
Isn't that the stuff you liked?
Yes,
Yeah.
loved it. It was amazing. So good. And also your gumbo.
Gumbo will not run out, hopefully, again, but we ran out last year. It's just, I would suggest getting there earlier in the day.
I mean, you have the biggest witch's pot I've ever seen in my fucking life.
I know, and I made 2 of those pots.
This thing is gigantic. Virginia could sleep in this thing.
It's 100 liters in each round of this pot. I made it twice last year and still ran out.
Wow. Now, I guess there's a question being thrown around about possibly bringing out the KVJ hot dog gun.
Yeah,
I've got it.
We have it. The problem with that is part of me really wants to do that, but that thing does go at an alarming rate, and I can just see somebody getting a hot dog to the eye or the retina.
What if we bring it out not during the snack pack show, like before, right before, to warm up
Get
the
'em
crowd, when we don't have anything else flying in the crowd, when it's just hot dog gun?
Yeah, ever since I hit that one kid with that Hawaiian roll in the eye, I've really kind of tried to slow my roll.
That kid needs to suck it up. Suck it up, kid.
Yeah,
kid did
Hawaiian rolls
suck-
are very soft,
That
too.
kid did suck it up.
Yeah.
I threw it, hit him right in the eye. He looked like he wanted to cry, and I'm going, oh, please don't cry, please. It's gonna be so loud, everyone's gonna see it. He started to smile. I go, yes, kid's gangster.
It's a badge of honor to be hit with bread at a snack pack show.
And it's also a horrifying thing to make a child cry as an adult at a live performance.
Yeah. Never know what you're going to see. So I come check it out. Got an email from Ash. She said, on pickle juice, Kev, I'm kind of surprised in your keto journey you didn't see anything about how much more important electrolytes are when you're doing keto. No, never saw that. We need salt to survive as humans, real salt, not this processed sodium you find in boxed foods and snacks. We need sodium, potassium, magnesium. Those are the 3 main things for electrolytes. And you'll notice how low on this stuff, if you get, you'll get the muscle cramps, Charlie horses and the such. Yeah, that's interesting. You know what I get? The weirdest thing, I get cramps in my feet. Does anybody ever have that?
Oh, yeah.
And somebody told me that, where it's like my foot locks up and then my toes are throwing up gang signs. I'm like, what is going on?
And it takes a good 3 minutes to get it
Oh,
back.
it's the most painful thing, too. I'm like, oh.
You already got them long-ass tree-climbing monkey
You
toes.
should see them when I got a toe cramp. They're like all every direction. I'm like, how are they even doing this?
It does, and you can feel it coming on. You're like, oh shit, here it comes.
I
Monkey
do. I feel
toe.
it. Yeah. And I'm trying to massage it and hope it goes away. Oh, it's the worst. I'm like, please don't come on. Please don't go.
It
Because
will.
it grabs you.
It'll make you gasp out loud.
Yes. Oh, I hate it.
Have more salt.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. I need to work some pickles into the game.
So is Gatorade just pure shit when it comes to all that? There's nothing beneficial?
No, I wouldn't say that. But what I've heard when it comes to Gatorade, a lot of times it's the sugars and stuff like that people drink it, and first of all, they think it's going to make them an athlete. And the other way around is how you should look at it. They say unless you are an extreme athlete and you just run a marathon or something to that level, that, yeah, you're doing more harm than good, really, with the Gatorade. So unless you are an extreme athlete that really has to replenish the electrolytes, then you're going to get a lot of funk. And for the average person, it's not going to be good for you. I think you can kind of get fat on Gatorade, actually.
Oh,
with all the sugar.
Oh, yeah, you can.
What's next to you?
Oh, it's Gatorade. Yeah, I'm an athlete. I'm good.
I notice it's blue, so that's nice of you.
I didn't mean that. It was I was an accidental dick.
You and Rocco accidentally get blue Gatorade all the time just to fuck with me.
If you think I want heat with you during crawfish fest, no, I won't. No. I'm not that stupid.
Yeah, Angie's right, too. She's saying coconut water is a good natural source of electrolytes. And so that's probably a better move if that's what you're truly trying to do than the Gatorade. Or even the chocolate milk is really good if you've done, for instance, a weight training workout. fact, I think, oddly enough, I think the Florida Gators, the football team, they drink a lot of chocolate milk after they do their workouts, and that's where Gatorade came from. But I think they do the chocolate milk maybe even more than the Gatorade.
Gotcha. Put on the list, get tons of Yoo-hoo.
Yes, right. Yeah, I don't think the Yoo-hoo works either, but yeah.
Yoo-hoo.
Go for it, though.
That's not real chocolate milk.
That is some fake-ass chocolate milk.
Oh, you want to talk about a cup of chemicals?
It goes down. It goes down, and literally 1 second, gone.
Yeah, Ash says the pickle juice also helps with heartburn and hangovers. Okay.
Could you see yourself doing that? Waking up, shot of pickle juice, if you knew it had the benefits. Yeah, I could see you doing that.
Yeah, because I wake up in the morning, and when we have them, I always do a ginger shot, and that thing that'll knock your dick in the dirt. That thing is, woof, man. If you get you ever had a powerful ginger shot, Virginia?
I have. They're spicy.
Yeah, I think we used that one time for You Can't Make a Face, because I did. I was like, oh, I mean, I like it, feel it working, but yeah.
He'll give you the nasal drip sometimes.
It will. It just clears you out, man. It is strong. Coach Jeff said, found a fun product here in Frisco, Texas. If you go there, which just outside of Dallas, you can get a whole big old jug of beaver cream.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is your beaver dry? Well, don't worry. We've got beaver cream.
Smear some beaver cream all over it.
It's kind of gross. First of all, the package is not that appealing, and it's horseradish, which is even more gnarly.
Creamy horseradish from the brand Beaver.
I would try that because that's funny, and I love horseradish. Oh, on oysters, there is nothing better than a little lemon and a little horseradish, and that is just perfect.
But I'd imagine if you put that on your real beaver, horseradish would not
my
jive well
goodness.
with the lips,
Oh,
right?
no, that'll burn your clam.
Yeah, I would think so. But chocolate sauce, I think you'd be good.
Something tells me you've tried it.
I'm asking questions.
Drink your
I'm
Gatorade.
drinking my Gatorade.
And Ryan from Lake Worth Beach has some advice here for the girl that we talked to yesterday who wanted to make the $400 doing an OnlyFans video where she would be pegging her ex-boyfriend.
That's a lot.
But she has a current boyfriend and thought that he might get upset if she asked to peg her ex, where she straps on a dildo and gets him from behind. But she thought that he might be more offended if she asked him to be in the video, but she wants that $400.
Story doesn't ring a bell. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
Details are fuzzy.
Anyway, Ryan recommends getting the agreement in some form of contract. It can be via email, text message, or whatever. Say hypothetically she does very well and gets tons of views and makes six figures. The boyfriend is going to want more than the $400 she promised him. Anytime you do a business deal like that, get the contract because trust me, he will peg you in court. I've seen it happen. Yeah. Okay. Don't want that.
No one wants that. No one wants to get pegged in court.
No.
And Ryan also has a follow-up, too, talking about Wheel of Fortune yesterday. I heard you guys talking about Ryan Seacrest and Wheel of Fortune ratings on yesterday's ATS. I'm actually trying to get onto Jeopardy myself, and so I keep track of this sort of thing. Where did you hear Wheel of Fortune ratings are up this year? I did just a quick Google search. I just said, how are the ratings with Ryan Seacrest taking over Wheel of Fortune? And it just talked about how the ratings are the highest they have been since 2015. And that might have just been the initial run of it because he's been on hosting now for several months, correct?
Yeah, and typically, too, you're going to get that big boost in the beginning just because, what's Seacrest? Is he going to suck? Is he going to be great?
Yeah, he said, I know Wheel of Fortune had a boost during Seacrest's first few months, but he hasn't been able to sustain those numbers because Jeopardy is now the #1 game show. Yeah, that's very possible. Again, I did just a super quick, didn't do a deep dive on that. So it might have been. It'd be interesting to see where it is. He says, according to the Newsweek article I got here, Jeopardy overthrew Wheel of Fortune in ratings this year. And to be fair, not all of it is Seacrest's fault. Wheel is giving away less money due to higher overhead filming in California and lower advertising revenue. If you notice, the contestants have chosen the $40,000 bonus prize almost every time. It's because they tweaked the odds for less payout. On that note, Ryan Seacrest has made several notable errors, too, if you watch the show. Most recently, he failed to explain the rules before the crossword puzzle, and a contestant lost because of that. You can't add words to the crossword. You have to say exactly what's on the board. Burr can explain it better than me, but it's a stupid puzzle and a stupid rule. I think it should be tossed out, and contestants should be able to take $1 million wedge more than once.
I think you did a fine job explaining it, and I agree with what you're saying. Anytime I watch something and the purse is lower, there's not a lot on the line anymore.
Yeah.
That's a great point.
He said it's so stupid how they get rid of it after a contestant lands on it and guesses the correct letter but does not win the round.
That fucker loves the power hour. 7 to 8p. That guy, whoever wrote that.
Yeah, Ryan.
Well, he sounds smart. I mean, if you're trying to get on Jeopardy, you're no dummy.
I hope he gets on, man. That'll be awesome.
Yeah, let us know your journey. And if you go to audition, break it all down for us.
I was always raised to believe between 7 p.m. and 8p, the world is at rest because Wheel of Fortune and Jeopardy was on. And then I remember that did not work out one time when I found out there was a war going on. Like, oh, well, how can that happen? If peace, that was a rule in the house.
Oh, they just wanted to get your kids to calm the F down.
Why did I say shut the fuck up?
You wild-ass kids.
Yes.
Your parents wanted 1 hour of peace.
The older I gotta go, wait a minute, 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. there's peace throughout the world? That doesn't sound right. I think my parents are liars.
Parental lies.
Such lies.
Again.
Alyssa setting it straight. We had somebody that was upset with 23andMe, the DNA site, because somebody had used it to see if they had the BRCA gene. And I think in their email, if I remember correctly, because this was, I think, last week, and they'd said, oh, no, 23andMe is like, you're fine. But then I think it was their mom then didn't get a check. She trusted the 23andMe and wound up getting cancer and dying. Something like that.
Yeah, it was something real fucked.
Yeah, if I remember that. But Alyssa said to test for cancer genes, you need to do a blood test, not the saliva test that was through 23andMe. So, yeah, I don't know how she got to that conclusion. And, I mean, if 23 would have told you that and they're not even testing for the BRCA gene, that's really freaking negligent.
That is so negligent.
So I don't know what happened. I can't imagine they would do that because, my God, you'd sue the pants off somebody that did that. So I'm not sure exactly what that's all about, but that is interesting to know that you do have to do a blood test. Saliva test will not let you know if you have something like that.
Would you do that? Would you do one of those things where they get your DNA tested and the 23andMe shit?
I don't think so because I don't really have any desire to know. It's it's okay by me. So my mom had done a deeper dive on our family tree and all that. I trust it. I mean, I look enough like my parents, and they're not salacious people, so I don't think we have any kind of like family scandal like that.
You find out a third cousin, though, possibly a serial killer and a crime.
Oh, okay. Is that why they let you?
That's where you got them eyes from.
Yeah.
That's her insult. That's not mine.
There's got to be a killer in your lineage. Otherwise, those eyes couldn't pop up like that.
Could be. You never
There's
know.
got to be a killer in your lineage, too, with your
Right,
fucking crazy-ass attitude.
Maybe I'm the one.
And then there's got to be one in mine because I'm obsessed with murder. So.
Yeah, it's a good point. Go to an actual doctor for medical tests. Yes, thank you, Angie.
Yeah, that's a good point. But you just believe what these companies put out there because, it was... Oh, they're DNA experts. They're able to look at everything. And you're like, oh my gosh, this is amazing.
Yeah. But go to somebody that specializes in doing that. Like if you're looking for disease gene therapy, 23andMe is not it. And talking about murder, Angela said, I just finished watching The Body in the Snow, the trial of Karen Reed on Max. It tells the story of the death of a Boston police officer after a night out drinking with his girlfriend and a group of other officers. The girlfriend is arrested for his murder, but her attorneys receive an anonymous tip about a potential cover-up and planted evidence. A local podcaster learns about her story and creates a community of supporters that rallies behind her, and she becomes famous all over Massachusetts. The trial ends with a hung jury, and there is a new trial starting this month being streamed on YouTube. That sounds fascinating. Yeah, I think I've heard a bit about that story on the news.
Everything's fuzzy, though, because they were all drinking. He was drinking. She was drinking. She was drinking and driving.
Oh, okay.
And I guess it's maybe a possibility that she hit him, didn't even know she hit him, and drove away, and he died right there in the yard in the snow.
Or it's possible she knew.
Or it's possible they got into a fight and she knew.
When you get it, all these domestic murder stories, a very big commonality is there was a lot of drinking or drugs involved, where someone's out of their mind.
Right. Yeah,
and
that
they
makes
do
sense.
something next level, and they're like, "What have I done?"
Because you don't remember what you did.
I would hope you would even tie in the worst drunken night you've ever had. I think you would remember murder.
I don't know, Bird. I don't know.
That's
I don't know how murder works.
I don't know. It sounds like you kind of do.
Ask Kevin's uncle.
Cousin.
Cousin.
Third cousin. Wouldn't you say, have you ever been drunk enough, Kevin, to where you go, I could have murdered somebody?
But I wouldn't have known it. No, because I think if I'm that drunk to that level, I mean, I can't even stand up. So how am I going to really murder anybody unless I got behind the wheel of a car somehow and got that to work? Or I just can't imagine that.
I guess that would be maybe the only thing is, I guess to your point, you're so drunk and you're driving and you think you hit something, but you're like, oh, it's a trash can. That would be maybe but still.
Yeah, or maybe there was a gun and you'd like a dummy picked it up, and that'd be the only thing. I think not to say it's impossible,
For sure.
but I would think it would have to be a unique circumstance.
You must look at every angle, I suppose.
I saw today too that Virginia Giuffre, she's the one that went to Royal Palm High School that was tied up with the Epstein stuff and then was pawned off to Prince Andrew. And then apparently got hit by a bus going 68 miles an hour, and I guess now has, 2 or 3 days left to live, based on when that story came out?
That's what she said. She had days to live, but she said it a couple of days ago.
Oh, we got to be on day 3 or 4 now.
What says that her family walked back her Instagram claim that doctors gave her 4 days to live due to renal failure.
Oh, no.
Yeah, a family statement said that she meant to post the message privately. She does remain in serious condition and is receiving medical care. Her condition worsened after the crash, prompting hospitalization. And apparently now she's estranged from her husband and children, and she's struggling with depression amid her divorce. Her father was once Mar-a-Lago's maintenance head. I'd never heard that. She is among the first victims to speak out, advocated for abused women, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Yeah, so that's interesting. So her family's like saying, yeah, that's... So what does that mean they walked it back? That she wasn't supposed to report it publicly, or that they're refuting what she was saying?
And refuting.
If she's if she's struggling with depression right now, it's possible you could say or do things. Maybe she did this in a way where she was trying to get her husband back, and she thought the only way to do it was to fake this injury and that she was going to die, that her husband might come rushing to her side.
She's now just recently, I guess, according to the New York Post, been charged with breaching a family violence restraining order.
Uh-oh.
Okay, so some didn't
Right
sound...
before she got into that car crash, she broke the restraining order.
Okay, something didn't sound right with this story. I was like, there's something that doesn't make sense in this. It's making a little bit more sense now.
It sounded muddy since you started talking about it. None of it made sense.
Yeah.
And I know some people were telling us, "Oh, you absolutely can get it down to the hour for kidney failure," but
right.
I've never heard of you are going to be dead in 4 days, and that's a fact, Jack. I've never heard of that.
Right, and it's almost like the clock is just ticking. We got it down like that. Yeah, that
like a basketball game.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what seemed unique to me about the story. But yeah, they had not included any of those. That's the first time I've heard those details. Have you heard that yet? That all that drama was going on.
This
in her
is the
personal
first
life?
I'm looking it up right now. The bus driver that allegedly hit her says he laughed when he saw her post, and that the incident was only a minor collision, and that the story that she was telling on social media that he was seeing was blown out of proportion. He calls it all suspicious. disputing her version of how things went down.
Well, sometimes because you said she broke the law before, if you know you've broke the law and you've got the law coming after you, you may
Diversion,
exactly. I can't go to prison because I'm in the hospital and I have this going on.
I got hit by
Yeah,
a
right.
bus.
I got hit by a bus, exactly.
Which it worked. I mean, everybody was talking about her being hit by a bus. We didn't even know about her breaking the restraining order for family violence.
This is pretty easy to kind of figure out within the next couple days if this is all horseshit or not.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I'd said. You're going to obviously find out here pretty quick, because if a week goes by and she's like, "Oh no, it's 2 days."
I meant 4 weeks.
I don't think she's on death's door, y'all.
Well, I hope for her sake she's not. But like I'd said, when it comes to the Prince Andrew case, any of this kind of stuff, it's. I can tell you right now, Prince Andrew, his attorney, they're watching this case very closely, and they're very excited by what they're seeing. Because, one, if she's not around to testify, good. Or two, if she is kind of going through this in this episode and making up stories, that's going to be really tough to get a jury to believe what she says when they'd be like, okay, let's just establish that this happened to her. She made up this story about she was going to die. Now let's hear what she has to say about how Prince Andrew raped her.
And it's.
And that's exactly what they'll wind up doing. And that's just how attorneys operate. And that would be a pretty solid defense.
I have a stupid question. Is Prince Andrew, is he the one with Markle?
No.
That's Harry.
That's Harry.
If you gave me...
Andrew is his uncle.
Meghan Markle wouldn't touch Andrew with a 10-foot pole.
I can do movie theme quizzes, but if you gave me a British quiz, I am fucked.
Let's give him a British quiz.
I wouldn't know shit about the British.
Denny's, get the shot collar.
Seriously, I wouldn't know shit about anything if you quizzed me on it.
Yeah.
I would if I had to pass or fail and my life depended on it, I may not show up to work.
Yeah. I was talking to one of the guys that he's a professional polo player on Sunday when I was out there in Wellington.
Look at you.
Yeah, I loved it. It was a lot of fun. I just find it fascinating. It's a very interesting world that those polo people have. And honestly, as awesome as it seems, I don't think I'd want it. I mean, I like my little blue-collar life and hanging with the real people, but it's fascinating every now and then to see, what people in different walks of life do.
A peek.
Yeah, just get a little peek. And he had actually been on the same polo field with the King George, and also with the sons, with Harry and what's the other guy's name?
Harry and William.
William, yeah. So he had played on the same with them, and he was talking about, he's like, the King, man, he's a real dude. He is a man's man. He's like, he is hysterical. He's very quick-witted, very funny. And he's like, because you see his public persona, you wouldn't get that.
Yeah.
But off, I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, he is like a man's man, and he is very funny. And he said he's a really good polo player. They said because you get a score basically on your level, on how you are. You could be like a 10-goaler or whatever. And he was much better than both of his sons at polo. And in fact, he said, Harry's kind of shit. He's not very good.
Is that kind of like a golf handicap sort of?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So polo kind of has the same thing. And that's how they put together teams, where you will see someone who has got a 10 and then somebody who's a 0. So you have basically an amateur out there with pros, which is a unique thing in sport. Could you imagine, like, for instance, they put me on the court with LeBron and the Lakers?
I would pay top dollar to see that shit.
Because you would think the entire game, you'd be like going, dude, you fucking suck. You ruined it again. What's wrong with you?
If you had to play in a game, I would bet $100 you score one bucket.
Right. That's why I thought it was so unique that they would do that, where you take a complete bum in the sport and be like, yeah, let's pair you with the best that we have. And so, yeah, if you look at a polo team, you'll see someone that's at least in Wellington. And, honestly, Wellington, to give them credit, it's really the best polo players in the world. So they play in different places, but man, in Wellington, that's where they all want to be, and they want to do what's going on right now in the U.S. Open. And so you will see one of the best polo players in the world with somebody who's just got a lot of money, but they suck. And then the two people in between, it's kind of like a sliding scale. Like I saw a 10-7-4-0. So 10's your best, 0's your nothing.
Are the players super close with their horses? I mean, do they have a relationship, or do they swap out horses?
They swap out horses all throughout the whole thing.
Oh, so it's not like this is my horse.
They have like a team of horses.
Yeah, so typically they'll have 5 to 6 horses, and they'll, the really good riders, yes, they know them very well. In fact, a lot of times, like with anything, they have their favorite horse, the one that they just have an energy with. They understand each other. But in a polo match, you can only ride them for so long. It's kind of like NASCAR in the sense where you got to stop and make a pit stop to refuel, get new tires, things like that. It's that way with horses. So the really good polo players, you know what you can get out of your horse and when. And so you strategically have to say, in this chucker, they have 6 chuckers. So I'm in the final chucker. I need a goal. I need to get my best horse at a time where it matters. So I can't run them out early. I've got to, know which horse to go with and when, so that I can get on the best horse at the time when it's most needed.
I do not know shit about polo.
I didn't
British
either. Yeah,
royals.
I didn't either. But as I learned it a little bit, I'm like, okay, it's kind of interesting. And they were talking about the guy who's considered to be like the LeBron James or Michael Jordan of polo. He plays in Wellington right now. And of course, he's like what you would think. He's an Argentine.
Oh, they're so hot.
Freaking good looking dude. And he's older, and he's got a son that's just as good as him.
Wow.
And they play on different teams. And so that was a big part of the story. But they were saying he goes out and watches the other teams practice. And one of the guys who's not real good, he was like, I was there, and this guy was naming my horses and what they could do. He knew my horses better than I knew my horses.
Wow.
And so he knows every team, every horse. So when he sees another polo player get on a horse, he knows, all right, he's on a slow-ass horse, and I can run circles around him now. So that's the guy. That's what it takes to be at that level.
That's a researching man.
Yeah. So there's a lot that goes into it, but it's a fascinating thing. Yeah. So to hear a story of the dynamics of the royal family, it would be great if you could get a real, true documentary, somebody that really knew them and hung out, because I think there's a lot to that Harry and Meghan thing.
I think that Prince Charles and that Camilla Parker Bowles, they're both kind of like sassy. They got shit to say. They both are cutting. They have the personality that's very in sync with each other. They're a little bit dirty from stuff that I've heard. And I think that Princess Diana wasn't like that. And that's why Diana and Charles didn't work out, and Camilla and Charles did.
Really? Okay.
That's what I've heard and seen. Like, okay, because looking at it, why would you pick Camilla over Diana? He vibed Camilla.
Who is the redheaded woman? Was it Fergie? Fergie?
Yeah, so that was Sarah Ferguson. Yeah, she was with Prince Andrew.
So I saw a documentary about her, and she's not with them anymore, but she's kind of she's on the side, and she was kind of talking about how she's been kind of ostracized from the family.
Yeah, she has, and it is really the dynamic is kind of fascinating. Yeah, so she was and she seemed more down to earth. She seemed like the person that people could relate to.
Was she kind of a party?
She might have been. I mean, I vaguely remember. I think it was like maybe the 80s because she was after King Charles got married. And sorry, I said George earlier. I'm thinking about American Revolution for some reason. My apologies.
Wrong king.
I don't know where that came from.
So many kings.
So many kings. But yeah, King Charles. So after he had married Diana, they got married not too long after that. And I think we were starving for another great, because I remember my mom woke me up in the middle of the night to watch when Charles and Diana got married. That's how big it was to my mom. And so I think we were looking for that again.
Yeah, maybe it's because my family never really we weren't into it. That's probably why
Yeah, and it's, it's kind of interesting. The one thing that, the guy was talking about is how seriously the Brits do take it. And he plays polo in England, things like that. And he said, you should see the security that they have. They don't play around. And it made sense. He said, because, in America here with our Secret Service, you look at how we guard the president. And of course, it's very serious. But the way the Brits look at it, you can replace a president. You can't replace a king. So they really are serious about the royals, because it's not like there's an endless amount. In America, we could kill 10 people and we'll still find a president. But you kill 5 royals, you're not going to, the line's dead, at that point.
That's true.
Yeah, so apparently they shoot first and ask questions later.
Dang.
Yeah, so don't mess with the royal. So, and I hear they do. I hear people are always trying to like jump the gates at Buckingham Palace. And,
I
like,
ain't.
they
Yeah,
just
I don't want none of that heat.
no. I love CJ Bird trying to scale a fence.
Just a 4-foot chain link. I'd have fun watching that.
It would be something.
Yeah.
Because you know he's not wearing shoes.
I'm
Right.
better. I'm better without.
Ann trying to put something on her radar. She said, have you heard about the captain of the Tarpon charter and the crap he pulled with that young man on the water? Watch the video. I haven't seen that. It hasn't popped up. It's not on my radar yet. I don't know what that's all about.
It's crazy how many Palm Beach County and South Florida, but mainly Palm Beach County body cam.
Oh yeah,
It's
there's a
insane.
ton of I mean
From boats to DUIs to people just acting a fool in a fast food restaurant.
we could do a whole show every day just on what you see on the Only in Palm Beach and Dade and Broward and all that.
They'll have millions of views, and I'll go, "Where is this at? This shit looks familiar." I'm like, "Oh, it's Clematis."
Yeah.
I mean, people are getting pulled over. This county is lawless, man.
Right, exactly. Yeah, South Florida is. Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. I'll look into that today. Yeah, Blue Ridge Gator said, I saw that this morning. It's so trashy. The guy should have been arrested. He was despicable. All right.
I got to check it out.
Okay. And Panchita sent an email. She said, hey, you need to call your oldest son, Colin. There was a tornado near Nashville at 3 a.m. this morning.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I saw an ominous warning that they had about they think some storms are going to kick up in that middle part of the country that they've never seen before, tornadoes and all that kind of stuff. And my son and his boyfriend, they were aware of, okay, they're getting into that dangerous spring storm season. And so I think they're trying to get out of Nashville pretty quick. I think they hope to be in Chicago by middle or end of May. So they're trying to get out there pretty quick because, yeah, they are aware of it. So I have not heard anything. I will try to reach out to him. Thank you, Panchita. Lucas said, I hear Kev mention that you can use the KVJ app to listen to the show anywhere in the world, but you need a VPN, which I haven't tried yet. I did, however, try the KVJ app in Japan, Iceland, Brazil, Colombia, and Peru.
Oh.
Okay, but you get an error message. Oh, that's too bad. If someone tried the VPN overseas and it worked, I would love to know. All right, well, let me know how that works out.
Wait a minute, we're having technical problems? What?
No, it's just, yeah, so I thought you'd be able to get it anywhere, and I thought somebody was listening. They must have had a VPN then, because somebody told me that they were listening, I think, in France or something like that, and I was like, oh, that's cool. And I said, are you using the app? And they're like, yeah.
We read, they said.
Yeah, so I'll have to check in, and maybe I can reach out to that person and be like, how did you do that? And maybe it was a VPN. And Jeremy said, will Virginia ever go on the Weird and Whatever podcast?
Would love to have her. Absolutely. Oh, you've been on. You've done it before. You've done a version of it before.
Yeah, you let me know if you're ready for this heat.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to always keep everyone's schedule's so different. I'm trying to be as consistent as I can with the Weird and Whatever, but there's way too much stuff going on for this week. Our sweet Denny's is not going to be so sweet.
Our sweet Denny's is going to have a heart attack.
Yeah.
Let me see. Doug thinks I look like the vice president. He said, oh, and you're both from Ohio.
I've had a few people say that you look like the vice president.
Yeah, J.D. Vance, huh?
Yes.
Okay, well, I mean, we have brown hair. We have beards. We are from southeastern Ohio.
You're more fit. He's a little chunker.
You have similar cheekbones.
Okay.
You guys have high cheeks.
Uh-huh. All right. Well, there you go. High-cheeked men with beards with brown hair from Ohio. Okay.
Interesting.
All right.
That'll turn political. You got to email tomorrow. How dare you guys?
Yeah, what
You didn't-
How dare
what
you look like
Democrat do
J.D.
I look
Vance?
like?
You
Yeah.
didn't say Virginia looked like a Democrat.
Yeah. Here's a debate on whether or not he wears eyeliner.
Odd. Does he?
I don't think so, but he does look like he's got it on. He does have that, whatever that lining is around his
He
eyes.
got that
It's-
deep set, sexy eye.
I guess. I don't know. It's kind of a crazy thing there. And some information here from Mary Kate. I was excited to hear you go into detail about your tincture. Yes, I'm trying to get back to some people. I know they've asked me about that, but I almost am afraid to send back messages. Probably give you bad information. Denny's actually the one that should answer what I'm doing.
I was looking at some of that yesterday for you, and there's definitely some new stuff out there. They're always coming up with some new stuff.
Yeah.
But I didn't have time to really kind of ask the dude
Right.
working there about it. But I was looking at it, and they're always running deals.
Yeah, I think it's an exciting world. I'm with how they're making the products and the advancements that have even come along with how they're doing THC these days.
The dude that I went to yesterday, he could not have been more nicer and just over the top polite. Come on in, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, it's a great world we're living in. Look at all this shit. I'm like, well, this guy's really polite.
And she said, yes, I'd love to have that for my husband. He's desperately having a hard time unwinding at the end of the day and getting to sleep, and he's tried everything. Yeah, I know how it goes. That's why I'm the same. I get it.
It really is torture. I mean, I'm so jealous of people who are able to lay down and go to sleep right away and stay asleep. But for some people, it's very troublesome when you're getting ready to go to bed and you cannot get to sleep. You're
Right.
so fucking tired, but your body won't let you go under.
Yeah.
It's torture.
That is rough. That's why, yeah, people want to get that. She said, do you have this product? Want to see what you think. It's called Wonder Water by 8th Wonder. I attached a picture. It is refreshing. Looks like it's got the cannabis thing on there. Yeah, it's cannabis water. I guess you can get that now.
Yeah, you can get it all now, Kev.
Okay. It tastes like Topo Chico with lime. It's got zero weird taste, in my opinion. Yeah, some of these little beverages I might try out. I think the only thing that just kind of I'm slightly at least cautious of is if I'm drinking tequila or the things that I know how much I can have.
So that nowadays or whatever,
Yeah.
they have a little guide,
Okay.
especially if you're a newbie, on what you should do, how many hours, and all that kind of stuff.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
If you're a
Okay.
newbie, if you're a little pussy, yeah, we'll get you.
Yeah.
Yep.
We'll get you that and a tampon.
You can get me a shirt that says newbie pussy. Perfect. I'm here. All right. Thank you for all the emails. You can always send them to us, mail@kvjshow.com. You guys have an amazing day. We'll talk to you later. Goodbye.